today, and we have Mr. CJ Opala here with us on Azure, taking us on a topic on Azure, a very important one. And today's topic will be on administering Azure resources. So he has been taking his time to teach the community to expatiate more on Azure topics all over the community. As we know, Azure is a growing technology right now around the world, around the the whole of the world right now. Not everybody has embraced it completely. Not everybody knows the power it has, and it, it takes someone who is already in the system and who understands it completely to be able to explain it to others who are new to it. So Mr. CJ has taken his time out right now to explain all these underlying topics in Azure. Azure is actually the fastest growing cloud service provider right now. So they have quite a lot of shares in the market. They're bit behind AWS, but they are going faster than AWS is. So they are being adopted really, really quickly. Now, if you are trying to upskill, of course, you need to understand on these particular service provider. So you want to upskill, you want to get better, you need to understand. And of course, there are not so many resources or so many people willing to take on the time out to explain this to people who are just coming into the field. So Mr. CJ is here with us today, explaining another very important topic. He is an MVP, a Microsoft verified, Microsoft valuable professional. Sorry about that, because that is something I actually want to become. It takes quite a lot to get to that point. It means you have been really helpful in the Microsoft community. It's a very, very big honor to have Mr. CJ with us. And today, he'll be taking us through administering Azure resources. Please remember, if you need to ask any question, if something is not quite clear, you can ask using the chat. Recording the class is being recorded also, so it will be available also after the meeting. So thank you very much, Mr. CJ. I'm handing over to you right now, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ayo. It's a pleasure to be here again and to present. Good evening, Endurance. Good evening, Ijoma, for joining. Yeah, so I will try to keep this event short, looking at the time there in Nigeria, as well as giving everybody the chance to enjoy their evening. So basically, this presentation is for those who are new to the cloud. So this kind of a fundamentals, or for those who hear about the cloud but they have not worked in the cloud. So this kind of opportunity to understand Azure, how to administer, work on Azure, administering resources or managing it, all those kind of things. So yeah, from administrative point of view, these are basically the prerequisite or the first things you need to know about it, and then you can build further on. Say you want to build more complicated application or take launch new products or try out labs, build demos or proof of concepts, all those kind of things. Yeah. So a member of the Azure Nigeria user group. So Microsoft MVP for 3 years already, and monthly we give demos and presentations, and sometimes we invite speakers to join us. So next week we have an interesting speaking at Kubernetes from David Frappas. So it's an interesting one to join. For me personally, will be joining that as well. Yeah, for now, let's kick it off. So Azure Resource is just the kind of the way we run things or manage applications or build things or use Azure in general. And there are building blocks on how to do that. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. So we'll be looking to how to configure Azure resources with tools. So there are like 4 ways to do that. You can do that with using the Azure portal, or you can use PowerShell, or you can use Azure CLI, or you can also use ARM templates. as a resource manager template. I think it's very popular as well. And like I mentioned, these tools are Azure Portal, Azure Cloud Shell, PowerShell, and Azure CLI. So we will compare these tools together and see what values they can leverage to us, or to any individual who is building things in the cloud, or new to build his first application, or to try things on Azure Cloud for the first time. So basically, in comparing, say, the Azure Portal, so when you log into the Azure environment, there's the Azure Portal. So it's interactive, where you can click things, use the GUI interface. So graphic user interface. So there's this one, the Azure Portal. So the next one is the Azure Cloud Shell. So you have the Cloud Shell, just like a CMD command shell. So similar to what you have on your laptop if you want to interact with your laptop. So your laptop is Windows-based or it's a Linux-based. And then we have the PowerShell and the Azure CLI. So this is native to Azure environment. So you guys already know the PowerShell. That's the CMD way things are managed using in a Windows-based or Microsoft-based environment OS. Yeah. So with the Azure Portal, you can, as the name says, you can view and manage resources, visualize interface, and also you can use it on a mobile app as well. And likewise, you can personalize the experience you have, like creating your own dashboard, displays, all those kind of things. And then with the Cloud Shell, you can, for instance, do like offer like authentication automatically, so you can interact on the browser, accessibility, temporary timed out after 20 minutes. So this is more like most administrators use this, and the Azure PowerShell CLI, because it's more, it gives you more, you have more to do to control the environment or to build things. But then the Azure Portal is more visual, so you can see what you are doing, and then it has a very low learning curve to understand. But these two, the Azure Cloud Shell and the Azure PowerShell, you need to understand the command bases, the command lines, and those kind of things, and for you to be able to use it. So I would show kind of a small demonstration of the Azure Portal environment. And then likewise from there, you can see how you can customize your own environments or Azure environments. So this is my Azure Portal. So like the name says, I have a subscription here, which I logged in. And I have a tenant here. NCT Nigeria is the tenant. And then I'm part of this tenant. And then within this tenant, there's a subscription. And that's a subscription. So a subscription is what gives you kind of a paid way or the ability to build, to use the Azure Portal Cloud. If you don't have a subscription, then it's difficult for you to utilize the Azure environment. So you see it as if like you have an MTN number or Glo number. You buy the SIM card, you activate it, but you cannot make call with it until you buy an airtime or you buy a data to use the internet on it. So that's basically how subscription is. So this is the display. So this is the display. So you have different on the top left side, you could see it's a sidebar. This sidebar gives you kind of different resources or different options on what you can do. Also, you can also have this dashboard. Dashboard is basically where you can customize your own display, what you want to see when you log on to the Azure portal environment. These are different resources, or different technologies Microsoft Azure offers. And so the topic of today is to show how to administer resources, how to create a resource, for instance, Azure Cloud. So let's say a resource is kind of a unit of an application. Name it, say a VM, it's a resource. A storage account is a resource. The Azure function is a resource. These are all technologies. A visual network is a resource. And then when you look at it back in form of the three areas of technology, cloud technology, so like SaaS, software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. Those resources comes from this three classification of services offered in the cloud. Hi, Segwin, nice to have you. I will mute you, okay? If you have any question, you can raise your hand and I'll give you the floor. So feel free to interrupt me by raising your hand while I give the presentation.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so let's say I create one of the popular resource everybody knows is like a visual machine, because you can do a lot with it. So let's say we create a resource, a visual machine. So on the blade, you see different steps to follow to create a visual machine. So you see like a nice subscription. So if you say you have more than one subscription, you will see all of them on the drop down. Then you can choose it. And then you have a resource group. A resource group is like a container where resources resides. And a visual machine. So I can say, okay, I'll give a visual machine name, any name for the visual machine I want to create, and define which region. So the region is which Microsoft Azure Data Center will this visual machine, this resource reside on. And then an option for availability options or availability zone. And then you have the security type. The image, so you can say Ubuntu flavor, Windows 2019 flavor, and then and different options. So let's quickly create a visual machine. So I don't have a resource group yet, so I'll create a new resource group. So it's VM VM resource, RG. And then I can give a visual machine name, say NNG VM. The Azure Nigeria User Group VM. And then I need to identify or define or give a name where this resource, this visual machine will reside. So let's say I use South Africa, something like that. And if I want, I would define further the availability option. So availability zone, or a visual machine scale set, or availability sets. So like the name says, availability zone is just a physically separate your resources within an Azure region. And the visual machine scale set, say you want to do compute, it scales up or scales down. So distribute VMs across zones and fault domains at scale. So like this is for like reliability. Yeah. And then the availability states. So this is basically, it automatically distributes your VM across multiple fault domains. And this is very important, very, very useful. Say you're creating a VM in an enterprise license, in a workload, in a corporate workload, so not for a private use. Yeah. And then we'll go to next disk. So we can choose which disk we want. So there's different options on the drop down. So based on the disk size, has different performance or gives different throughputs. So I'll click it. Okay, let me use a default image, and then the disk type. I use like a premium disk, standard disk, SSD, standard HDD. So I'll use first one. And you have other options which sometimes are not relevant, like key management. And then I'll go next to networking. So when this VM will be created, there will be a Vision network created that it will run on. And this Vision network now comes from the name of the Vision machine with a -VNet at the end. If I want, I could create a new one with my own naming convention. Or if there's already a VNet already created in this subscription, I could tie it the VM to run on the VNet already existing. You can define subnet, public IP, and then you can define the NSC, public inbound ports, select inbound ports. Yeah. For now, we'll leave that open. Also, we can also define if we want this to be micro-definer for cloud, define the Azure AD, define the identity, and then we can also define an auto shutdown. So when this machine should shut down to save costs for us. And then alerts, you can configure for monitoring alerts. Likewise, you can also put install custom data or extensions on this machine. So when this machine fires up, these extensions or packages will fire up, will come alive as well. And then next is tags. You do tagging. So tagging, purpose of tagging is to if you want to manage costs, which department or which resource is utilizing a subscription, or which resource from which cost center, or which resource, who created which resource. So you can give tagging here. Say for instance, I could say owner, who owns this, or creator. I could say creator. Okay, we define it, then created it. Then it's okay, I created this, see the one created this. What does it? And then we'll click review and create. So this VM will be created, and we'll go back to our presentation. So we'll get back to it and see how this machine created, what we can see in it, all those kind of things. So there are other ways, like I said, to create a Vision Mesh resource. We use the Azure Resource Manager template and the advantages for that. We also look at exploring JSON template schema, exploring JSON template parameters, and then considering also use Azure Bicep template. And we look at the quick start templates and from Microsoft, and then we run template with PowerShell. Something like that. That'll be a summary. So template basically is kind of like the name says, a template on how you can run your script. It's a JSON based. It helps. What is the purpose? It helps promote reusability. It reduces manual efforts. It's error prone. It expresses complex deployments, and then also it provide validation task as well, and simplifies orchestration management. So for instance, you have like templates, you have development, production, and then quality assurance templates. Yeah. So this kind of a template, a JSON template, the characteristics. So it's written in JSON. It's made up of a collection of key pairs, key value pairs. It's each key is a string. Each value can be a string, number, Boolean expression, list values, or object. So the JSON template parameters. So the parameters specify which values are configurable when the template runs. This example has two parameters. So you can see from here, one for a Vision Machine username, which you see here, and the password, the admin password, and the admin user. These are two parameters. So if we consider Azure Bicep templates, it simplifies syntax for writing templates. Has smaller model files you can reference from a main template. It automatically detects dependencies between your resources. Also, it has a Visual Studio Code extension within validation and IntelliSense. So this is kind of a quick start template. So when you go on Microsoft Learning Portal, Microsoft gives a kind of a list of templates you can use to try out things. And these templates have different resources it can create for you. So for instance, on a quick start template gallery, as of now, you can see we have 1,037 templates with start templates. So some template could be if you want to migrate Azure SQL database using Azure DMS. So Azure DMS is called Database Migration Service. If you want to secure Visual Machine password with keywords. Also, if you want to use Zookeeper cluster on Ubuntu VMs, if you want to use Azure Machine Learning end-to-end secure setup. Further, we will look at using running templates with PowerShell. So to do that, you connect your subscription, Azure subscription, you create a resource group, you deploy template into the resource group, and then you verify the template deployed. So this will be a home assignment. Let's go back to see the Visual Machine we created, if it's ready. Okay, so the validation has been passed based on the parameters we defined. We would now click on create for the Visual Machine to be created. So it's asking for an SSH key, both it wants to download private key and create resource, or return to a Visual Machine return to create a Visual Machine. So we don't need an SSH, we just create the Visual Machine and see how it runs. Or I could, let's say we download a private key if we have one. So the Visual Machine is now being created or being deployed as commonly used. So for now, let's get back to lab home assignments you can try out at home. So this event is recorded, so you could and the PowerPoint will be shared, so you can use it to create your own resources. So for instance, first one, how to manage an Azure resource with templates. So a kind of a scenario could be like using ARM templates to create a resource. So the first task is you need to review an ARM template for deployment on Azure Managed Disk. You create Azure Managed Disk by using an ARM template, and then task 3 is review the ARM template-based deployment of the managed disk. Next, it's architecture diagram. So the architecture diagram is kind of what the visualization of what really happens. So task 1 is the disk. Review an ARM template for deployment on Azure Managed Disk. And that's this. So there's a naming convention given. So a disk 1 in a resource group. So the resource group name is AZ104-038-ROG, resource group 1. And there's a JSON template. And they have task 2. Task 2 is create an Azure Managed Disk by using ARM template. And that's it. So you have a new template. And within this new template, you have this disk and the resource group in it. So lab 1, we have the configure the managed disk. So this is task 3. And then let's look at lab 1B. So manage Azure resources with PowerShell. So using PowerShell to create your resource. So task 1 of which is like you have to start the PowerShell section in Azure Cloud Shell. You create a resource group and an Azure Managed Disk with Azure PowerShell. And then lastly, configure the managed disk by using Azure PowerShell. And this is the architecture diagram. So you have the disk, I have the resource group. And then lab 1C is managing Azure resources using Azure CLI. So first task is to start the bash section in Azure Cloud Shell. Second is to create a resource group and the managed disk by using Azure CLI. And then configuring the managed disk by using Azure CLI. And this is the architecture. So basically, this is the end of the presentation. Let's go back to see if this vision machine is completely created. Okay, yeah. So the deployment is complete. So we click to look at the vision machine we just created. So this is the vision machine, ANUG VM. And this is the properties. So it's a Linux-based Ubuntu 20.04. It has besides the size, so standard D2S V3 series, and the RAM is 8 GB, and the disk. So the disk specification, and it has an auto shutdown enabled. Further, we will look at so like the tagging. We define the tagging. We define the tagging as a creator who created it, and this VM has been allocated a public IP address in Assassinate, and also a VNet was also created for it. So I will show the option of, so like we say, if you want to do it with a Cloud Shell, use Azure CLI or PowerShell, click on the Cloud Shell, and the Cloud Shell will be a spin up. So you have the option of using Bash, so Linux, or using PowerShell. So further, we'll go to review kind of a PowerShell commandlets and models. So a PowerShell command is called it's called a CMDlet. So the base PowerShell product ships with commandlets that work with features such as sections and background jobs. You add models to your PowerShell installations to get commandlets that manipulate other features. Yeah. So for example, there are like third-party models to work with, FTP, for instance, and you can administer the operating system. Using the Azure portal. So with the Azure portal, so this is a print screen of the Azure portal. You could search for resources or services or docs. You can manage resources. You can create custom dashboards. So if you click on this, you can create dashboards, customize it, and also you can also access the Cloud Shell just like I showed you. And also you can use it to receive notifications. So for instance, yeah, go back to home. So you can search, say, I want to search for storage. See how you created a storage account. It gives you option of storage accounts available. Anything pertaining to storage, it lists it down to you. If you want to see documentation, it gives you documentation on storage. And then when you click on the document, it leads you to Azure documentation website. You can also create resource. Say, oh, I want to create a Azure function. And click here. And then Azure function will come up. Let me to create, for instance. Or the save function. To Azure functional. So the function lives in Azure functional, for instance. You can also customize. So dashboard, you can use dashboarding and customize what you want to appear on your dashboard. So you can also create a dashboard. You identify what you want to put in it. So that's basically it. So I'll get back to the slide. Yeah. So next is the Azure Cloud Shell, like I showed you, and the PowerShell. Using Azure PowerShell. So you can use Azure PowerShell to run create your VM, create your resources, create a resource group, and then you indicate a name, as well as indicate which image that virtual machine will run on. So to do that, just connect to your Azure subscription and then manage the resources. And then you can add your specific commands. You can also access it via the browser on Azure Cloud Shell. You can also have it's available on local installation, Linux, Mac OS, or Windows. It has an interactive and a scripting mode as well. So next is a cross-platform command line program. So you have the Azure CLI. So the Azure CLI is cross-platform. It can run different command cross-platforms. It can run on Linux, Mac OS, as well as Windows. So the commands are structured in groups and subgroups. So you can also use to locate commands as well, and you can use the help function for more detailed information. So these are the quick templates you can explore. So when you click on this link, you can see more templates you can use. And in using Azure Resource Manager, so we can look at the benefits of using the Resource Manager, creating the resource groups, reorganizing Azure resource groups, and this is the Resource Manager. So what is a Resource Manager, you might ask? So it provides kind of a consistent management layer where you can manage your resources, a collection of, say, resources, storage accounts, web app, Vision Machine, Service Manager within a resource group. And you have like SDKs to interact with it. So SDKs are like Azure Portal, Azure PowerShell, Azure CLI, or REST clients. So let's review the terminology. So a resource is simply a single service instance in Azure. A resource group is a logical grouping of resources. A resource manager template is a JSON file that allows you to declare and describe a set of resources. And a declarative syntax is what a template uses to state what intent to create. A resource provides service that supplies resources you can deploy and manage through Resource Manager. So creating a resource groups, so resources can only exist in one resource group. You can have a resource to be in two resource group. Groups can have resources on many different types, services, or from many different regions. And you cannot rename group when created. You will have to delete it and recreate it. And groups cannot be nested. And deployment are incremental. So you can deploy, what that means, you can deploy more and more resources within a resource group. So you can also reorganize Azure resources. So you can move a resource group from resource group, say resource group 1, to in a subscription to a subscription 2. So you can move to a resource, say a Vision Machine, a storage account, to another resource group. Now move a resource to another subscription, and move a resource to another region. So when moving resources, both the resource, the source group and the target group are locked during the operation. So services that cannot be moved are like Azure AD, domain services, express routes, and site recovery. And other restrictions also apply. So when you remove resources and resource group, you remove Azure resources that you no longer use. Ensures you will not see unexpected charges. So you want to manage costs, and then you remove individual resources or remove the resource group in it. And then lastly, determining the resource limits. So you have kind of Azure subscription, Azure service limits and quotas and constraints. So you have like limits you can use. So your resources have a default limit, also known as quota. It's helpful to track current usage and plan for future usage to manage costs. And let's say you want to increase your usage, you can open a free support case to increase limits to published maximums. So that's it from my side. Any questions? If there's any question, let us know.
Right. So, thank you so much, Mr. CJ. It was really, really straightforward. I actually enjoyed it. It was like I was reliving the whole of my Azure experience again. So Azure Resource Manager, of course, is directly from the very beginning. It's taking you right from what makes Azure work. Exactly. That's what the Azure Resource Manager is all about. And the Azure Resources basically is everything you see. So yes, when you are talking about it, of course, it's basically everything you see on the cloud. And Mr. CJ has been able to push us through it. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate the time you set apart for this particular.
A pleasure, always.
Yes. So please remember, if you have any questions, Mr. CJ is taking his time out for this particular lecture. So please, if you have a question, please ask. And also, if you are about to ask about the recordings will be available. Please join the Azure Nigeria user group. The group link will be sent in, so you have access to the.
It will also be on the YouTube channel. Please join in also, and of course, it will be available. I think by tomorrow, next tomorrow, can't really tell, but as soon as possible, it will be available. Mr. CJ, I have to thank you once again for this. You are really putting up quite a lot for us. Thank you so much for it. Thank you so much.
A pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Right, thank you so much, sir. I think this is the end of the presentation, the end of the lecture. If anyone has any questions, you can definitely ask while Mr. CJ with us before he disappears. Yes, please. Waiting. All right, so of course there are no questions. That means the presentation was quite straightforward and easy enough for everybody to understand. So please, thank you so much, and Mr. CJ will be signing off very soon. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Enjoy evening. Bye-bye. See you next time.
Bye-bye, Sam.